Hello, what's going on, guys? Hacky Guy 1 here. Welcome to my review of How to Train Your Dragon 2. So How to Train Your Dragon 2 is directed by Dean DeBois and stars Jay Baruchel, Kate Blanchett, Gerard Butler, Craig Ferguson, and America Ferrera. So the story is basically Hiccup. Hiccup kind of wants to find out who this dragon guy is after this hunter comes up to try to capture some dragons and just kind of runs into his mother and then goes up to and then has to try to stop Drago after he takes over all the dragons. So the voice acting is like the original, is done very well, like from Jay Baruchel, Kate Blanchett adds something new, and they all do really great. Like all the voice actors in this movie, they know what they're doing. They're doing the best they can, and are definitely each matching all the characters with their voice, and it's done very impressive. I got this. They do improve just part of the characters. Just they did give Hiccup a little more character development. Still not as much as I'd want, but they did a little more to him. Like they kind of develop him more as the main character. I gave him his mother, though I don't really like the mother that much, but so I look at that. It did do a slightly more development with Hiccup. And the animation was improved for sure. Like the background, I can tell they put a lot of effort into the backgrounds, and even the character designs on the humans look good this time, rather than looking absolutely terrible like it did in the original, which is a good improvement for this film, which I'm glad they did. That was one of my biggest problems with the original. And the soundtrack is great again from John Powell, and it was a very great soundtrack and was very catchy, and a good job done by Powell, and I'm glad he did this. And the action does get you into this. There's a great job choreographed through the animation, how it's done, and it definitely gets you into this movie after kind of a bland story of foreshadowing, and yeah, and it's very entertaining for what it is. But here's where I still definitely think this movie is overrated, like its predecessor. Like the story is very incoherent and is a mess. It's hard to follow because there's so much going on at once, and it's hard to follow. Like I don't really care. There's multiple things going on at much, but when it's poorly paced and has a bunch of backstory that we don't really need from people like Valka, and it makes the story much worse and makes it drag a lot, and kind of makes it so it's kind of hard to watch. Stoic is still a really bad father figure. The only thing he really did do for this movie was kind of show how he was Volga again, and then step in front of Hiccup so he dies instead, which was an incredibly cliched and predictable moment, man. And like it's supposed to be an emotional moment, but I didn't really get emotional attached to it because I never really cared for these characters to begin with. But I still found it incredibly predictable, considering he just stepped in front of the guy. Like immediately wins Hiccup. Toothless moved over to Drago and was mind controlled by him. I almost knew exactly that was going to happen, because that kind of moment is cliched and it's happened many times. And plus, it's a father figure. Animated movies always kill off the father figure, so it makes it incredibly predictable. Wonka, in all honesty, was just a very poorly written character, especially as a mother figure. She doesn't really do much to help this movie out. Her stuff is just the subplots, and honestly doesn't really have much to do, and doesn't really connect with the main story very well. I think it just is a bunch of backstory stuff with her and Stoic, and her character and development. It just is nowhere to this throughout this movie, and is just nothing special, honestly. And Drago Bloodfist was completely wasted. He didn't even show up until midway through the second act, and was just awful when he showed up. He wasn't really anything special. He didn't really intimidate me that much. He's just a cliched villain, to be honest. He has nothing really much other than just a wasted cliched villain. One who wants to take over something, take over an entire city, or whatever. So he just kind of wants to take over a city, but that's pretty cliched, to be honest. And other than that, though, his character, if they did more with his character, it could have been better. Like, rather than just sending out the hunters there who don't really help out his character very much, and they should have done more with his character. That's all I'm saying. I'll give it this, though. Astrid is slightly better in this movie than she was in the original, but she still has very little character development, and is just not really anything special. Like, you just know that she's Hiccup's girlfriend, which is honestly doesn't really focus on very much in this movie. And yeah, Astrid just does all the dirty work, and isn't really that much of, like, she wish she had more of a significance to the plot. Like, I mean, she did have a pretty big significance. She did try and look after Drago, but other than that, though, her character just was nothing. They should have had some sort of development with her, as all great sequels should have. Toothless is still adorable, but has no character. Honestly, like, he has absolutely no character in this. He has no development, and he still has no character, other than the fact that he's a Night Fury and that he's Hiccup's dragon. That's literally all his character has so far. And is just nothing special whatsoever. It's just a really bad character in this movie, and he probably could be one of my favorites if he actually had some character and some character development in these first two movies. Climax, while it is good action-wise, I'll give it that, but honestly, story-wise, not so much. It's kind of underwhelming in that case. It's like it felt completely rushed. It's just Drago going out in the city, and they just go out with a bunch of baby dragons and come in. It just felt very rushed, and I wish there was more to it, for sure. So overall, How to Train Your Dragon 2 is just an overrated movie, like the original, and it's just a bad movie to me, and I'm gonna give How to Train Your Dragon 2 a 4.5 out of 10. That was my review of How to Train Your Dragon 2. Like the original, if you like it, that is totally fine. I respect your opinion. And what are your thoughts on How to Train Your Dragon 2? Tell me in the comments below, and I'd like to thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.